McGuane gets past Brown. They're lifting the pies. They can sense it. McGuane's had 5 bounces. Nearly get another one. Round he goes. In he goes to an open goal. Mickey McGuane. Goal of the year.
Mick McGuane joins us on Straight Up for this AFL preview thanks to Dankz Furniture.
You won't see better than that.
With 6 local stores in the metro area, there's one near you.
Yeah, there sure is. It's a very good afternoon, Mickey McGuane.
How are you, Marty?
Yeah, very well. Yourself?
Yeah, really good. Good weather over here.
Yeah, we've had wild weather here, but I think it's going to settle. Sunny days are forecast for tomorrow and for Friday's big clash. Now, we'll do this a bit differently today, Mick, because what normally happens is by the time we finish, I get a couple of texts and it's too late. You're gone. So we'll go with the text first and then we'll get into the preview. We'll be pretty quick about it. Glenn from Fremantle for Retrovision and also for the Mundaring Hotel. Mick, leftover from last week's chat. Do you think Goodwin will get a head coach job again? Premiership coaches don't grow on trees, but it seems he might also have underachieved with that list since. Your thoughts for Glenn of Fremantle?
Yeah, pretty balanced question, isn't it? You can't hide from the facts. He's only one of 4 ever premiership coaches at Melbourne. Gee, they're hard to get against your name being a premiership AFL coach. So on the back of that, I'd have to say he will if he wants it. I think there'd be a club would certainly invest in him. He's still got youth on his age. He's got great experience. He certainly has changed the way they've played to a degree this year. I think they're moving in the right direction in terms of game style with the personnel they had. They've had to go through some turbulent situations with a lot of off-field drama that they had to fight. The Petrarca one with the health issue that he was exposed to when he was put back onto the ground. That didn't end well for him. And then you've had the Clayton Oliver saga sort of always bubbling under the scene. And then you've got a great leader in Max Gawn trying to be the pillar of strength and be the man that everyone goes to when things aren't going pear-shaped. So I think as leaders, Goodwin and Gawn certainly stepped up under some turbulence. Has he underachieved? They're hard to win.
Yeah.
They're hard to qualify. I suppose the 2 narrow losses could have gone either way in one of those years where they didn't advance, when they went out in straight sets, and we're talking a kick here or there, could have been a point of difference. So sometimes you need an element of good luck to get over those close final losses, and if it had been a little bit of luck there went a bit their way, it might have been a different narrative.
Okay, Ray, that is R-A-E, has asked Mick for a margin on tomorrow night's game between Essendon and St Kilda. I've been way overdoing mine and need to rein it in. Cheers, Ray.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the margin will be here. I think it's one of those delicate ones because St Kilda very rarely win easily. And this Essendon team over the last 2 weeks have shown some fight. They're ranked 17th in the competition for pressure, but their last 2 weeks, particularly second half against Sydney and last week for periods against Geelong, they got their pressure fairly high, and that's the youthful exuberance they got in the team. There's talk there might be a 15th debutant. Don't know whether that's been rubber-stamped at this stage. But one thing we do know with these younger Bombers who are trying to make inroads to their career, I think the work they do without the ball could hold them in good stead. I'm tipping St Kilda will win, but I reckon it'll be probably anywhere between that 4 or 5 goal margin.
Yeah, young Reece Unwin will be the boy debuting to make it 15 for the Bombers tomorrow night. I don't know if you know him at all, Mick?
No, I don't. I can't wait to see any young player that advances into an AFL team, and this young boy will be no different. To have a look what his probably go-to strength is, but then obviously look at areas of improvement, and this is why I'm excited about young kids getting a chance at the back end of the year, particularly if your season's over, because it gives them a great opportunity to learn from the lessons of playing an AFL game, and they can attack the summer with some venom to eradicate the flaws in their game to make them a strong point going forward.
Okay, so he was number 61 last year's national draft. He's featured in 16 games in the VFL, breaks lines off half-back. Hasn't got a bad physique on him, good set of legs, and he's got a body up top he can grow in and match those legs. Now, Gary from Thornley, a question for Mick McGuane. By the time the Melbourne Cup comes around in November, Vauban would have been trained in Australia for 12 months. What does Mick think this changing campaign will have on his Melbourne Cup chances this year?
Well, as we know, when given to an Australian trainer who's got great credibility with stayers, they try to get some speed in their legs, and Vauban would be no different, particularly who trains that horse now. And we know it's Gai Waterhouse, I think. Yeah, it's gone to, by memory.
Yes, it has, yep.
Knowing full well that Gai loves leaders, I'm not sure whether Vauban will be a leader in its next life, but in saying that, she'll certainly train it the way it suits Australian racing. We've seen Peter Moody do that with great effect with some of the imports he's had at his disposal. And that's one thing you need here, that turn of foot at the end of staying races is a point of difference. We saw Prince of Penzance, who was basically a miler, win a Melbourne Cup under Darren Weir when he was training, and was a slowly run cup and had that turn of foot, and that's the reason why it got away with that particular Melbourne Cup, albeit a great ride by Michelle Payne. But in saying that, I think Vauban's going to be a realistic chance, because one thing we do know about Gai, she can certainly get horses, the right ones to stay.
Final one, this will do because we're going to get moving. Zach, he said, I see Mickey got a contract extension with his coaching gig during the week. Congratulations to him, and wondering if he got overs in his deal as he always does with his trotters.
Well, that local footy is a pretty more a love job, really, because it's been basically my son's family club in a way, because we took over when he was a young boy, and obviously you do it for the right reasons. It's not all about putting your hand out. This is about trying to look after the kids and give them a chance to live their dream, and we've had pretty good success out of giving, I think it's 15 or 16 boys a chance to play AFL on the back of our program we've adopted here. So we try to do the right thing by giving the kids a chance to play at the highest footy, highest level when they can, if they can, and just teach them the template that will give you a chance to get to that level.
Pens at the ready now for Mick McGuane's AFL tips for this round. Gets underway 5:20 tomorrow night. The Bombers 4:50. They're on the drift from 4:10. St Kilda 1:20 from 124. Line there 28.5. Total points 167.5.
Yeah, St Kilda winning form's good form. Marty, and you know more about this, being a Saints man, that they'll be pretty hard to beat. I don't think they'll have many changes. Sad news about Paddy Dow. He's out for the year when I thought he might have been given a chance at AFL level. He broke his collarbone. And with Zachy Merritt out with surgery and probably comes back next week to celebrate his 250th, that's a massive out. And Dylan Shield getting suspended through that controversial incident earlier in the week. I think St Kilda got too much weapons for the Essendon team, but Essendon will fight and they'll give great effort. And St Kilda, as we know, they struggle to score. Geez, they were playing a lot of lateral footy last week. They're more or less defending with the footy. And do you want to survive AFL footy by kicking 8 or 10 goals every time you go out there? Probably not. And I think St Kilda's capable of winning this game. They'll strangle Essendon and try to keep and restrict them to a low number. But in saying that, they've got to kick goals themselves. But I think they'll be good enough to get over the line, but not convincingly.
Right, second game is a blaster here from across the river at Optus Stadium. Fremantle are playing Brisbane, and the whole town's talking about this one, Mick. They're saying it's the biggest game, home and away, that Fremantle have ever had. They've got to get about 55,000 in to break their home and away record against a team other than the West Coast Eagles. They're $1.77. They've been around that mark. Not much movement here. Brisbane 205, the line 3.5, and total points 167.5.
Yeah, what a game it's going to be. I'm tipping Brisbane Lions to respond significantly. They've had their backs to the wall a couple of occasions this year. As you know, Marty, I've been a massive rap, and who would have thought, 4 or 5 weeks ago when they had that loss to Sydney, the whole world was going to cave in, and they were culling for the coach's head at that stage after winning 6 on the trot. It was just a remarkable narrative. Talk about some of the media people jumping off a cliff too early and trying to single-handedly dethrone some individuals in an environment that's tough. And Fremantle are now sitting above Brisbane Lions on the ladder. Who would have thought that was the case when we were talking Brisbane Lions only a couple of weeks ago, thinking they'd be a top 2 team. If they lose their last 2 games, who would have thought they could potentially miss the 8?
Yes.
This is how precarious this game is, both clubs really. But I think Brisbane, on the back of a disappointing game last week, even though they got within 2 points, Leicester, he'll come big in and into the team out of concussion protocols. And Starcevic will have a test. He was a late withdrawal versus Sydney, and obviously if those 2 boys come in, I think they're really important to their defensive end. And then I'm not sure what's happening with Hayden Young. He'll have a test with that.
I don't think so.
He's definitely going to miss his hit.
I think the jungle drums are beating that he won't play.
Okay. Did they bring in Wagner then? His managed minutes at what level last week?
From what we could tell last night, it could be unchanged.
Yeah, well, if those two boys aren't available, it's hard to make changes, and that's what I thought. They might have to make definitely one if Young's available, and if he doesn't come up, maybe Wagner's the other one to look at to try to nullify one of the Brisbane Lions midfielders if they get off the chain. They'll probably back their midfield group in, but in saying that, I think the Brisbane Lions have got a great chance to respond, and they know how important it is to win on the road this time of year. They've done it before, and they got to the big dance last year, of which they won. So I'm tipping Brisbane only because of the value. I think they represent great odds when they're black figures versus a Fremantle team at home are always hard to beat.
Okay, the good games keep rolling on Saturday, 10:35 start time up on the Gold Coast. They're $1.43 the Coasters in with the news that Hogan's not playing. Giants are $2.85 on the drift from $2.65. 15.5 point the line and total points 176.
Yeah, I think this is an intriguing game also. Obviously, the form of Gold Coast, it's hard to ignore. But GWS at their best, they're capable of beating any team in the competition. And you said that Hogan's definitely out, you think?
Yeah, Hogan's out. I think the record, is it 14 from 15 or 13-14? Something like that the Giants have beaten Gold Coast. Yeah,
and obviously the Giants are a different team this year compared to history and those figures. That's over probably 7, 8, 9 year period.
Yep. And
Gold Coast are clearly a much better team now. But without Buckley as well down back, Stringer, who's got that soft tissue issue, may get back to finals if they play. Daniels is not far away, more available next week than this week. And Gold Coast will probably bring in Flanders, who we know is a ball magnet. He should be over that back issue that he had last week. Probably will be the only change, most likely. I think GWS represents some value from a betting perspective, head-to-head, but I won't be putting them in a multi. Gold Coast, obviously hard to beat at People's First Stadium, and they're playing pretty good footy. But that last quarter concerned me against Carlton last week. I thought Carlton were much the better team, even though they got to a lead of 45 points. I thought they struggled with the intensity and pressure that Carlton applied, and their entry was good, and they hit the scoreboard. Francis Evans had the game of his life. And let's face it, Francis Evans isn't in the same volume of talent some of the GWS forwards have got, and I think if they get hold of the midfield battle, which is always going to be a challenge against Rowell and Anderson and these types of boys through there, if GWS can get some fly, their forward line's capable of kicking a winning score.
Yeah, listening to some stats about him today, it is all built around that midfield, isn't it, the Gold Coast?
Yep, for sure.
Okay, next game.
Who would you stop?
Sorry?
Stop. Who would you, if you were coaching against them, who would you want to stop? Rowell?
If you
put the clamps on Anderson?
I'm just, every time I watch Gold Coast, I look at Rowell, you think, geez, I'd love him in my team. He's one of those players. But I don't know, is he stoppable? Have we seen the tagging efforts against him this year? How have they gone?
Well, sometimes he's been nullified, but it's the other bloke that then gets off the chain in space. So I'd be sort of putting Tom Green the challenge to say, get your big body in between ruck contest and Rowell, and then try to win first possession from that and allow someone to go to Finn Callahan to let free, and then you've got to probably say if Noah Anderson gets off the chain, maybe a Toby Bedford type who we know can tag, even though they're a better team probably without the tag through the middle. They've proved that since he's been released as a forward. If Bedford plays the role he did like on Nick Dacos in opening round many weeks ago, we know he can do the job.
Okay, this next game gets underway 11:20 Saturday morning. Carlton are $1.50. They've been that all week. Port at $2.60. The line's 12.5.
Yeah, well, Carlton's short enough for a team that's only won 7 games for the year. And Port Adelaide, they're no different really. It's been a disappointing year for both those clubs. Port Adelaide's won one more game than Carlton, but the form they're in, it's hard to tip them. They do represent some value because last time they played, Port were pretty good winners. Walsh, interesting to see whether he comes back in for the Blues. Chera's out for the year with that knee. Elijah Hollins was brought into the VFL team and had a good game, but you know where his headspace has been most of the year. He's got his own personal issues to overcome. Be interesting to see what they do at the completion of this year with some culling of their list, because they've got some dead wood, their list cloggers, and Graham Wright come out pretty strongly to say we're just not good enough and our depth isn't there. And what do they do with Mitch McGuane? I'm led to believe he's got a last 2 games he's got to get, I think, 1 game to reach that contract renewal type thing, the trigger. They call it. It'll be interesting to see whether he gets that so he can be a part of the discussion going forward with the Blues. And then Port Adelaide, obviously you've got the coaches and Burgoyne both out. Their season's over. Jeremy Finlayson had a big sample game last week with his 30 touches. He had 17 clearances of ruckman And then the young Christian Moraes, who I've got plenty of time for, he might come in, a bit of a youngster at the back end of the year for the future. I think Carlton will win, but only because it's played at Marvel. But those that represent like value with their betting, maybe Port is the overs in the game. I think this round's one of those rounds where if all the roughies won, you wouldn't be surprised. And in the big games we talk about, your Freo Brisbane, your Hawthorn and Melbourne, your Adelaide and Collingwood, and even the Sydney and Geelong game, you'd probably say to yourself, geez, the non-favourite, they're pretty good value because they're capable of beating the favourite in the game they play against.
Well, this next game, I've got this rated a lot closer than the markets. Hawthorn at $1.28, Melbourne at $3.65. It's 21.5 and 165 is the total points. I'm not saying Melbourne win, but 21.5 could be enough.
Yeah, well, that's the point. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they beat Hawthorn. You know, they ride the crest of a wave, smashing Collingwood last week. They know they've got a lot to play for. They can't rest on their laurels because every new game's a new challenge. And then you've got Melbourne getting Steve May back into the team, which is a must. Even Luca Kentfield, does he replicate his VFL good form and get a chance to debut? He's had 2 4-goal hauls in the last 3 weeks at VFL level. And we know they've been aching for another key forward who can hit the scoreboard. Does this young fella get a chance? Not sure. Windsor season's over with the hamstring. Benji's out. He's got hammy soreness. And then you look at Spargo, Tholstrup, Bailey Laurie, even Tajway Woden, maybe to come in and replace a couple of those runners. And then you look at Hawthorn to say, well, they're going well. Do they need to try change their team?
Yep.
Obviously, Morrison strained the quad. McKenzie or Butler are probably one of the two that could come into the team to stiffen up their midfield or outside run. I think the Hawks will win, but I'm not convinced by a big margin.
Jai Cully's been good too in his couple of games for Melbourne this year, late in the season. We go to...
Yeah.
Yep. Adelaide Oval, and Adelaide are $1.42, Collingwood are $2.85. So I reckon the Pies have been back. Yeah, they have, from $3 into $2.85. The line at 15.5 and total game 164.5.
Yeah, well, I had something on Collingwood head-to-head. I think people tend to forget what they're capable of. And when you play 3 games in 11 days, they're not robots, they're human beings, and it's a taxing game, as we know. They play a high-octane brand of footy revolved around pressure, which underpins their performance. And then you've got Adelaide, who I thought for 3 quarters were really disappointing. If it wasn't for Rankin and the big fella up forward to get the job done in Thilthorpe, they would have been as disappointing as anybody who's lost a game, and it would have been the upset of the year. They've got to come back to Adelaide, 6-day break. We know it's a fortress at Adelaide Oval for them this year. But I think that 9-day break, Collingwood will be better served. They'll bring in Hill, I think, and they'll definitely bring in McCreery. I wouldn't be surprised at all the midfield change will take place in that part of the ground. I think we'll see more of DeGoey, more of McCreery in there. I wouldn't be surprised if Chris goes in there as a part of the combination to get him more inside than outside. And then you've got Pendlebury and Nick Dacos to add some support with Ned Long. I don't think Mitchell will play. I'd be surprised if they go with that combo again with Pendles, Long and Mitchell. They can't play in the same midfield group at once. They got exposed in transition last week, and I think we'll see a different flavour in there this week, particularly with Geordie to go and getting more minutes and more power in his legs, and Bo McCreery adding that point of difference around the footy, a bit of speed and a bit of chaos. I think they're value, Collingwood. I've done both. I've backed them head-to-head, and I've backed them with the start because I think they represent great value.
There you have a good lead there from Mickey McGuane. We're here for Dankz Furniture, 3 Sunday games. North Melbourne, Richmond, they're $1.57 north, about $1.55. They're on the drift. Richmond getting back, they're into 240. It's 9.5, total points 165.5. If you can make a case for Richmond winning in Tassie, they can win this game. They're over the odds.
They are over the odds, and this is why I say the roughies of this round, you wake up Monday morning and say, gee, why don't I get a quid out of this round? Because some of those roughies, if they do happen to secure victory, you'd be saying, why didn't I bet? And in this case, I agree with you, Marty. You know, Richmond do represent value. North, they give you a look. We know Richmond will attack the game. They're playing an exciting brand. They were good last week. Just couldn't get over the line against the Saints. And North battled manfully, but just weren't good enough and haven't been for a period of time. I won't be having a bet in this match. I'm not convinced about what the changes will be of either team, if any changes at all. I think North probably deserve favouritism, but the discrepancy in the marketplace is too great for me. If I wanted to have a bet, I'd be back in Richmond head-to-head at the value.
Okay, Sydney, second game, 1:15 start time. The Swans are $3.15, Geelong $1.36. It's 18.5 and total points 171.5.
Yeah, I think the Geelong team will win. Dangerfield and probably Jack Martin, who were both managed, likely to come in. They've got a very healthy list. They've got some very good players who are still finding their feet at VFL level, Cola Jasny and Mitch Duncan, these types of guys, if needed, at the back end of the year. And then you look at Sydney and just say, well, the Grundy loss is going to be significant. That means Peter Laddams plays in the ruck. Will Hayward probably comes in after missing 2 weeks after that calf injury. McInerney's season's over, so they'll probably look at Matt Roberts. His likely replacement to be that rebounding defender with exquisite kicking skills. But I think Geelong, a lot to play for, top 2, good players coming in, a big out for Sydney, who's probably All-Australian.
Yep.
Ruckman at the
Should
moment.
be.
I think the Cats should be able to get the job done.
Final game, Western Bulldogs 101, West Coast at 17. That line's out to 74.5.
Yeah, well, if the Western Bulldogs get hold of the West Coast Eagles in one quarter of footy, once again, not dissimilar to a couple of weeks ago when we spoke about the possibility of it happening, that could be a line you could take. But if West Coast Eagles bring the intensity they brought last week against the Adelaide Crows on the road this time, against a team that they know they have to compete against for 4 quarters, otherwise they will get blown out of the park, this is where Western Bulldogs could be value when it comes to 70 points, because they could possibly kick 8 or 9 or 10 goals in one quarter and restrict West Coast to no score. So depends which way you look at it. Any changes, probably not likely for the Bullies. Treloar may play VFL. Vandermeer and Dolan, they're both out with concussion protocols with their VFL game. Caulfield's playing okay at VFL level. Do they look at him? Probably not. Archer Reid, he's out due to that tendon damage in his toe. And probably Harry Edwards comes into play key defence, and he'll be needed to play against the likes of Norton and Sam Darcy. But I think the Western Bulldogs should win and win easily.
We got a multi?
I have. Brisbane head-to-head. I'm pretty confident they can get the job done on the road. I think Carlton will win, but wouldn't be surprised if Port at the value won the game. But I think Carlton should be able to get the job done to give their fans something to hang their hats on for the year. Collingwood with a margin. I don't know what the line is now. You've read it out before, Marty, but
Collingwood,
it was
15.5.
15.5. Yeah, I think that's likely. And I want to back Jack Higgins, too, to get 2+ goals against Essendon's defence, because I don't reckon they've got a specialist ball defender, particularly Andy McGrath going into the midfield.
Mm-hmm.
Young Jaden Newett might be given the chance, but he might ball watch a little bit, which he tends to do, and relies on his speed to chase down his opposition player. He tackled well against Geelong, but Higgins is a very smart forward, and this is the biggest challenge young Jaden Newett will have in his short footy career to this point, and I reckon Higgins could kick 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 goals in this game.
Yeah, he's due, isn't he? He's due. I know he's been consistent, but he hasn't had a big bag for a while. Here he goes. So have we added that multi up? You got a value?
Yeah, that's about $8.81, Marty.
$8.81 there for Dankz and Mick McGuane. Now we are pacing at Kilmore. We're 3 minutes off in fact, they're scoring up for the first. We got to go outside of the first.
Yeah, I think race 1, number 5 can win. If their listeners can get on, I reckon it'll spear straight to the front. Atomic Glory over the short trip, be hard to beat for Sean O'Sullivan.
Mm-hmm.
I took $4, Marty, and I think it's the leader and winner. The best bet of the night's the first starter, race 5, number 2. It's $1.55. Trial well, should lead, will win. And one of my other best bets of the night, you'll have to stay up late. Race 10, number 8. It'll be very hard to beat Tiny. Galloped at the start last start, made up a stack of ground. Lauren White to drive, comes off the second row. Just has to balance it up, make one run. It should be too good for them. Around the 260 mark.
I can update. 5 has found the front. Had to work a little to get there, but it's now going for a good breather. They're starting to move around the outside to come and put some pressure on, but your initial speed map's spot on. 5 straight to the top. So race 5, number 2 is Magic Mickey. And then race 10, number 8 is Tiny at $2.60. Mick, thanks for your help. Yep. Thanks for your help today.
Hopefully we replicate the 3 from 3 last week, mate.
Yeah, that was a terrific effort. A few of our listeners were right on your tips here last week on the show for Dankz Furniture. Thanks, Mick.
Good on you, mate. Take care.
Mickey McGuane is a star.
There's never been a better time than now to stop what you're doing and tune in to Straight Up. TAB Radio's weekly podcast that will guide you through the difficult journey that is the punt. Whether it be racing or sport, the Straight Up team has your back. Now, from the studios of TAB Radio, welcome to Straight Up.
Thank you, Trevor. Our official welcome. McGinnity's here. Seb is flying the spaceship. And we've got Brock Nealing, the manager of racing at Perth Racing, joining us to give us a snapshot as to how Belmont Park should present and play on Saturday. Very good afternoon to you, Brock.
Afternoon, Marty. How are you?
Yeah, very well. Yourself?
No, really good. We're pleased to had a good race meeting yesterday under sort of tricky conditions with that heavy breeze blowing through. But, we're fortunate the weather, we got plenty of weather last night, but we're looking, weather is in good condition for us leading into Saturday.
Okay, right now as I look at the site, we have it as a heavy 8.
Yeah, we at Belmont we had 19.5 mil last night, so that's probably in the 6 or 7 hours before we got to see the track this morning. So we just felt that you put that track in the heavy range. We probably, if we wanted to, we could probably go to a 7 now. And as we discussed plenty of times before, we probably feel like it jumps that rating a day at the moment with no rainfall. So yeah, we probably look to find it in that. Yeah, between that 7 and 6 range tomorrow, and then probably the same again into Saturday, whether we start on a 6 and see where we end up, or possibly go to that soft 5 straight away. But we'll be in that upper soft range by Saturday afternoon. Must be nice to look at the weather forecast for Friday and Saturday and see sunny conditions, 18 and 20 degrees forecast. Yeah, no, definitely. It's looking really, really nice actually for Saturday. Like you said, 20 degrees. Bit of an easterly blowing, and that'll hold through the whole day. But I think the top of that's probably 15, 16 kilometres an hour in the afternoon, so it shouldn't affect how the track races. Rail goes into that 7 metre position where there's plenty of clean ground there, and I'm sure they'll spread down the home straight. So at this point, you'd expect to be, say, somewhere like a soft 5. So a lot of these horses that have been running on heavy 8s and 9s and, high 7s in the soft range, they'll sort of get back and don't appreciate that type of going, are going to be back on ground that'd suit them better, you would think, on Saturday? Absolutely. Like I said, we haven't really been on that 7 metre pad for a long time, so it's unmarked, so they won't be breaking into that like that genuine, the west side of a soft or that heavy ground. So we expect them to be on top of the ground, on Saturday, which we're looking forward to. A bit of rain forecast for next week, which we're keeping an eye on. But, at this stage, after that 19 mil of rain, definitely in that worst side of soft today, but with 2 days of improvement, plenty of breeze around, just helping us out as well. We're looking forward to Saturday. Hey, Brock, it's always good when you help us out here on TAB Radio. Thanks for that. Thanks, Marty. See you Saturday. Yep. There he goes, Brock Nealing, manager racing at Perth Racing. And a big day planned there for racing at Belmont Park with the Blue Spec being the main event. McGinnity's back on. Seb Clark's with us here in the studios. We better clear those divvies from sure can. Bunbury in that previous. On the previous there from Bunbury, it was race number 5, and the numbers were 8, 3, 7 and 2. 8, 3 grand, Matty Derrick. 13, 10, 290. 3, Centre Bond. 130. 7, Run Paddy Run, $2. 4th number 2, the Quinella, paying 15.20. Exacta, 46.90. Trifecta, 184.40. First 4, 8, 3, 7, 2. 2,527.90. The double on 2 and 8. 123.90. Are we just about ready to get into it? Just before we do, update for the next at Bunbury? Yeah, of course. The 6th event is coming up in 28 minutes' time. 1 Saturday sesh, $9 and $2.50 in from $9.50. 2, Ain't No Cure for Love, $71. 3, Mysterious Fortune at $3.10 and $1.30 in from $3.30. 4, Old Mate Henry, $2.20 and $1.30 in from $2.90. 5, Oi Oi Lave at $13. 6, Grey Revolution, $17. 8, Hammer Dryad at $41. 9, Flavoursome at $23. 10, Luna Ascending, $31. 11, Neslin,
$51, 12 Startling Star, in fact $10 now, out from $5.50, and number 13 So Much Serenity at $51.
The Perth Racing Preview is where the Straight Up team finds you the winners at Belmont Park. All the fixed odds markets are from Tab Touch.
Okay, now let's have a look at the Mundaring Hotel Retrovision text line, because there's some busy ones here. You text, you get on. Afternoon, just left work, forgot all about Bunbury, so I've had a quick dabble on the last 3 races. Quick look at the form and thought $3,000 looked overs at $17. Nice winner, good ride. Pommy Pie's back. Pommy Pie. Here's one from Peter. I'm glad that snake, Rusty Collett, is not on today.
Oh, wow.
You have jockeys, traders, drivers on all the time trying to get a winner. Tip off them, and here you have Russ on last week co-hosting, and he has a winner in race 1 at Albion Park last Friday, paying $5.50. I agree with you, Peter.
Remember that.
This is a great point. Couldn't even share the tip with the listeners. Could have taken the price on offer, then shared the rest with the loyal listeners. Very good point, Pete, and you are the early leader for the $100 at the Mundaring. I think Rusty's listening in too, the trombone player from Broome. Hi, boys. This is Brian and Karen up. Marty, well done to you and the team on the show from Headland. Looking forward to the Calgary Tats Club show. Great concept. Hope to hear the show from other country locations in the future. That is Brian and Karen up.
1 week to go.
1 week and beyond up
Next
there.
Friday.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Did I hear that the Hayes team are using Mart's maps in the interview yesterday?
Yes, you did. That was correct.
As you blossom, don't forget the hands that fed you from the humble beginnings, Mart. If I see the Hayes boys wearing the merch before myself and the likes of Dwayne Dupp and Dutchy, that will be it. End of Dougal's life. All in all, happy for you, though. Thank you very much. And the final one, why does Pommy Pie even work? He seems to back a lot of winners.
True. He has a lot of winners.
From Gordon. Fair point. Right, we've got a bit to cover off now. We've been telling you all about the straight up lunch for a while. McGinnity, we've nailed down a date. Friday, September 5. And you've agreed and everyone's agreed they're going to be there. I reckon even the little man Diggers is going to be there. Not sure about Peng at this stage.
Pending application for
exactly,
day release.
and
Yeah.
all that ankle bracelets.
Yeah.
So, but the great man Dutchy's going to put on a nice spread of food.
Butch, yep.
Oh, Butch, sorry. Butch is going to put a nice spread of food on. He's ordered in a keg of Swan, so there'll be a bit of free stuff flowing around. So just text in and let us know if you're going to come. And that way we'll get an idea from a catering service-wise. And if you want a little join in on a coach that'll leave here from Gloucester Park to get you there and back, it'll probably get back here a bit after 4, just say... Yeah, going and coach, tick or something like that.
Trombone Travel organising.
Trombone Travel in charge of the coach.
Yeah.
And Butchie's going to put on a great show. So there it is, the straight up lunch. There's going to be some merch. Might even be some Mart's Map merch out there at the moment.
Oh, wow, already?
Yeah.
We won't use Mart's Maps to get there because we actually want to be there in time.
That's true.
But
Well, getting home. That's the problem. So that's the first... bit of information that we've had to impart to everyone. Tune in for the ads. They'll be running pretty soon as well. They'll be lively. And September 5, Friday. So that's all it is. And the idea of it is to get the straight up family together. You know, put a face to a voice to a text, have a couple of frothies, and just have a good time and see where it can take us.
violate some restraining orders.
Race number 1, the Lawn Pride Australia Plate out there on Saturday. Now, before we go much further, you've listened to what Brock Nealing has said. The reason I got him on, I saw that heavy 8, and I thought, hello, a lot of punters will be doing their form for a heavy 8 type of a track, which it won't be. Your idea of the Patna racing?
Leaning towards 6-ish areas. We've got, reasonable enough conditions.
I think 5.
Fine enough. That'd be even better.
5.
I know this is just outside my wheelhouse a little bit, but I'm going to assume on pace until the track tells me otherwise.
Perfect. Couldn't have said it any better myself.
Race 1 is, as Marty says, the Lawn Pride Australia Plate over the 1,400 metres. A look at the board. Number 1, Cape Lewin, opened at $7.50, out to $8. 2, Country God, $2, out to as much as $2.15, into $1.95. 3, Bundaberg, $6.50, opened, out to as much as $7, into $4.20. 4, My Authorita, $6 now after opening at $5. 5, Psalmtime Lucky, $8.50, out to $14. 6, Angels Point, $101. 7, Beyond the Limits, $18, out to as much as $31, back into $26. 8, Pony Up, $18, out to $19. And 9, Stylen, $16, out to $17.
Cheers, Seb. But Country God has been in a heap of multis, but there's been some good straight out punting on it as well. 1,200 there at the evens. We've got a 500 at the evens as well. 300 there at the evens. Cape Lewin each way, a couple of hundred each way at the $7. Stylen a bit each way there at the $17. Pony Up ESP money there at the bigger price, the $18 and $16. And that Eastern States champion can go again. Bundaberg, it's the one a couple of local sharpies are keen on.
Yep.
Looks the data horse, old Bundy as well. 500 at the 550, 500 at the 550, 500 at the 480, 400 at the 480. Bundaberg, Mart.
Bit of rum drinking there, yep. Is that it?
Indeed.
Bit of speed in this. Cape Lewin, of course, from 1, Bundaberg from 3. So they're McAuliffe-trained horses. They've got to work out which one they want to lead there. Pony Up from 4, I want to go forward. Styling showed pace in Kalgoorlie as well.
Yep.
I think it sets it up for this favourite Country God to get a beautiful run just behind the park and ride type of run, as Mac would say. The format of that wins copped some franking, hasn't it, with River...
Yes.
Aquarama winning yesterday and Artistry in Motion winning today.
And I think the winner of the first Wednesday as well, Friars
Legacy.
Something. Yeah, so yeah, being franked,
that's not bad.
Being franked left, right and centre.
2nd, 3rd and 4th out of that race have all gone on and won. So it does give it a good franking, doesn't it?
We love a good franking.
Where are we with the franking? It doesn't get much of a mention on the show.
He's gone into hiding, Frank.
A very good reason. So... Country God does look the obvious. $1.95. I had him in my markets at 119.6% at $2.50.
Martsmarkets.com. Subscriptions now available.
But I've never done a marketing mill apart from Freo Market in the old days. Got a bit out of
bulk selling.
Got
the
a
socks.
bit out of the old fruit and veg over the years with the tomato flogger. It just looks a horse, doesn't it, Country God? But out of Cape Lewin and Bundaberg, I favour Bundaberg. Cape Lewin still looks a bit busy in his action to me. Bundaberg more professional. He was very good. What are we going to do in his win at Pinjarra there? There's, I think, 5 last start winners here, isn't there? 5 or 6?
Possibly. Well, there's enough.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.
Mart, do we
6.
assume Brad had the choice?
Bradley would have had the choice, wouldn't he? Do you think? Or
Just
not?
worth noting, because one's significantly shorter than the other one, and it appears that Brad's chosen the toppy. I stand corrected there.
Would Brad have the choice or CJ?
Well, Brad's won on them both last start. But who knows? Maybe not. Maybe not. We absolutely are guessing there. So,
My Authorita, tell us your thoughts about this horse, because when he won that day beating Productive and Hoy Destroy, I thought he was there to be beaten. He, from my memory, was on the wrong side of the track a little bit, had got there early enough, and they were all there to beat it, and I thought it toughed it out really well.
yeah, and was holding them quite nicely late. It depends on, I think, what price you should have thought My Authorita should have been on the day, because if you had it at $1.50, well, maybe you're a bit disappointed, but if you thought it was a bit of a risk at that price range, then it probably did as expected, but it was certainly solid enough, and there's obviously a wrap on the horse given the starting price.
And then down the bottom two, which they've got their parts to play in the race, haven't they? Because, Pony Up will want to go 4, particularly Lisa Staples, barrier 4 for Paulie Jordan, and also Stylen. This is a horse that ran down King of France when I was on King of France. Just popped off its heels and nabbed it late for Tash Faithful. So barrier 6, Tash would probably be trying to do the same thing again, I'd imagine. Top speed up front. And the fact that they're bringing it to Calgary first up for Andrew Inglis suggests that it must have ability.
Indeed. And camp going along great guns, and they have a very good idea of what it takes to bring one to town and take care of business, don't they? So,
well, they've bit off a bit more than they can chew here, I would imagine, because it's a fairly strong field. In your opinion, a strong field?
It's a nice field, and one we haven't discussed, Mart, Sometime Lucky. Mm-hmm. I was very impressed with its debut. I thought it had no favours and was a nice run. Wasn't that far inferior, I thought, to Riva Aquarama.
Yep.
And then a really nice win. Wasn't really entitled to win that race and still did. This horse definitely has some upside, and if it had a gate, I'd be really keen on it each way at that price. The gate makes it tricky, but still well over my price at the around that $15 range.
So again, you'd imagine from that draw, it'll be happy to go back and just sweat on what happens in the race, let it unfold, and if they can make up ground, try and ping them later. I'm going with the favourite Country Road, but not at those odds. I think Bundaberg is the legitimate danger with my Authoritar. I just liked its toughness, the way it was able to win last start. So I'm 2, 3, 4, but not a race I'll be betting into.
Race number 2, the Blue Specs Stakes over the 1,600 metres. Number 1, Sentimental Hero, $9 out to $10. 2, Starry Heights, $16. 3, Sensational, $1.85 it opened at, out to $1.90 and $1.28 on the place. 4, Multinational, $6 out to $7. 5, Investment Strategy, $3.90 into $3.40. 6, Blazing Away, $21 out to as much as $23, back into $21. And 7, Captain Chaos, $10 out to as much as $15, back into $14 now.
It's a nice $3,000 multi on race 1 Country Guide into race 2 Sensational there, so
you can get that.
It makes sense. Sensational, the money's actually starting to pile right up now for it. Heaps of $500 bets, $350, $250, etc. Sensational. A heap of multis rolling through it as well, understandably. Our local Pro Money Investment Strategy, $900 at $340. A bit of sharpish money, Captain Chaos, each way at $15. Aside from that, it's a pretty... Every other runner not really getting its share of support, so the main one, Sensational.
Well, apart from the top 2, they're all coming out of that Jockey Celebration race, which Sensational was out to gun down Lord Gannicus Lake. Captain Chaos was making huge ground up along the inside. I thought Investment Strategy's run in that race was good for a horse who doesn't really appreciate a heavy 8. There's a weight turnaround against the winner in its favour. Interested in these top 2. What are we doing with them? Because they can both sprint well. Sentimental Hero can sprint well fresh over the 1,600 metres, and Starry Heights hasn't been out since the 6th of July, but has been to the trials for a little sharpen up.
It looks nice in the trials too. But, the market and the money is speaking volumes at this stage, Mart.
So, okay, the question I've got for you on Sensational is its form has been best on rain-affected tracks, 2 from 2 heavy, 3 from 6 soft, 3 from 12 with 4 placings on the good, so it's a consistent horse. Is it going to be as good on this 5 as it would be on a softer track, or you've got no concerns with that?
I think it's effective on all ground, and I massive respect to its first up win. It stepped up to a race that I thought was sort of right on its grade, and did a fantastic job, did it well, and see no reason why it can't improve. Forgiving Multinational, always forgiven one, where they just seem to have a day off. It could lead and get away with a bit here. Investment strategy, as you said, it was a nice return, and you can see plenty of an improvement in it as well. So,
I've always liked investment strategy, and as you correctly said, Mart's Maps has multinational leading. It's the obvious leader. There's not a lot of pace around it. So, and it's another that he's multinational by Zeus Stars, been a horse who's performed on heavy and soft, and gets into the good range. What price you got investment strategy?
My bet price.
No, your book price.
The price with Tab Touch at the moment is $3.40 investment strategy.
Yeah, I sort of thought him around $3.50 if you didn't want to be on sensational. Investment strategy, running second up, little weight turnaround, gets onto a better track, beautifully drawn with Bradley to ride. I'd nearly get $3 and have a bet on him, I think, for interest, investment strategy. He goes back to his 3-year-old days. He was going to be just a little bit off. I think he went through the Guineas, did he, in the lead-up races into the Guineas. So he put together a pretty good campaign in the end. Before his final run of the campaign in the Easing World, he's probably over the top by then. I reckon he was. Before that, he beat Forever Dreaming and Lord Gannigas. So I'm going to go investment strategy here to roll the favourite, but sensational if you want to be on it. Knock yourself out. And I just want to see a run from the toppy. Sentimental Hero. He's a horse who traditionally can sprint well fresh. His fresh card's big. 6 starts, 3 wins. First up at the mile, no trial. I think he can go well.
Okay, third event, the Varley Nick Lucas handicap over the 1,000 metres. Number 1, Goes to Walks, $21 out to $26 to Cut the Talk. $7 out to as much as $9 into $7.50. At number 3, Matty Girl for William Pike, $2.50 into $2.10. Number 4, Ain't No Other Man, $7 now out to $13. Number 5, Hanchy, $4.60 out to as much as $6 back into $4.80. Number 6, Snow Prince, opened at $15 now out to $19. 7, Rocking Gem, $9 out to as much as $9.50 back into $9, and 8 deferred. $7 opening price out to as much as $9 back into $6.50 and $1.95 the place.
Thank you, Seb. That ESP money has just come for deferred, so that's Eastern States Pro money each way there deferred. A couple of them as well, not just the one. Place heavy, 700 at 225, 800 at 220. Win components there as well. Local sharp money, Rocking Gem, a couple of hundred at the $9. Matty Girl, local sharp money, 1,400 at the early 250. Ain't No Other Man, a little bit of snipping there as well, but it is on the drift, Mart.
It's the leader for martsmaps.com.
You'd think so.
It went highballing out in front last start, didn't it? And if it just happened that the first 2 races was shown to be quite leaderish, I wouldn't be surprised if there wouldn't be a little bit of money for this, with Matty Derrick replacing the inexperienced Natika Reardon on the horse.
I concur, Mart. Interested to see what they do with Cut the Talk, who has been known to be a pace influence in the past, but is returning off a pretty decent break. But Riley's man, Alex Hearn, has been known to be quite a positive jockey.
Yep. Got it kicking up as well. I've got Ain't No Other Man, Rocking the Gem outside of Cut the Talk. The first couple in the run. Thought this was a race where if you haven't been on Matty Girl, do you want to start jumping on Saturday? Do you?
Personally,
I'm asking the question.
No.
Yes. So I haven't been on Matty Girl, and good luck to Diggers and the team with it.
Because he doesn't have enough money, Diggs.
It's up in the weights. It does meet a couple from past meetings pretty bad at the weights.
One thing it's fair to say is that she has been appreciating, or seems to have been appreciating, these sting-out tracks. But she is obviously adept at all ground, and she's just a very nice horse. But, right up against a few pretty sharp ones here.
From the trials, Deferred and Rocking Gem. Talking about the 2 trials, I think Deferred, both like Simon Miller and Sean and Jake Casey, hold the whip hands here, don't they? They've got 3 each with Neville and Tim Crosby, the other 2. let's talk about Simon's 2 triallers. I thought Deferred Trial better than Rocking Gem.
I concur.
You don't like this, do you, with me starting to talk like I know what I'm talking about?
I love it. I just love you having the ability to look straight at me instead of meerkatting over the monitor like you do from the other spot.
You tell me about Cut the Talks trial behind Resonate. It was just a trot and canter, wasn't it, that trial? It was very boring to watch.
Having a look. And it's been a while, but I certainly can't forget how much talent this horse has. It's, I think they had pretty big raps on it at one stage, so wouldn't be surprised to see it put in a performance. One where, a bit like us, Smart, where there's a couple of different versions. Hanchy's the one I'm talking about here, where the best of Hanchy with this setup would go very, very close, but just seems to take turns.
Okay, a bit like us, yeah. Well, what about Snow Prince then? Because the case I want to build for him is he just doesn't like those heavy and soft tracks. So if he can get back onto a decent track, which we're predicting on Saturday, you could see an improvement from Snow Prince.
Definitely you could see improvement. Just tough to see from that wide gate
what Jade does.
How Snow Prince can get the run required to win the race at the Belmont 1000, which we know can be, at times, can be quite
I think they're going to run along. They won't be... I don't think Ain't No Other Man Out in Front is the type of horse that you're going to be able to sit up on, particularly after the first up or the second up run.
Well, I'm not going to argue with the bloke that's got the world's most popular speed mapping website in regards to these things.
Correct. Goes 2 Walks. Now, if it was still in that heavy range, I was going to make a very big case for this. But, it's a class dropper. Beaufy Newmarket comes into this with a Claimfish and Old Cooper 57. We had Neville on the program last Friday, and he said whilst this is going to be his last campaign, there's still a race in him. You know what Nev's like with those old-timers? He'd get one out of you and me. Oh, me. Not so much you. Sorry for putting you in my class. I'm going to go Deferred. What price we got here? 5?
Into $6.50 now Deferred. It's gone off. Got out to $10 at one stage.
10?
ESP's got involved, Mart.
Missed that. Okay.
You would have let us know if you didn't.
$6.50. I'll go Deferred just off the trial. It does like sort of wetter than drier, so a 5's still going to be all right. Hardest to beat, I'm going to take a punt on Ain't No Other Man, just freewheeling out in front and being a bit easterly and out in front type of day.
Well, they wouldn't want to leave it alone.
No, it'll be fitter. Looking for a run of Snow Prince, rough, 6. And 7, Rocking Gem. Keep an eye on Goes 2 Walks too. Just maybe...
Mention one more and you've gone through the whole field,
Yeah,
Mark.
that's all right, mate. It's all right.
Can't miss that way.
No, I've only got 4.
Yeah, right.
You're allowed to have 4, aren't you?
Your calculator's very different to mine, champion.
Novelty players. Dutchie's thoughts. Hey, Marty. Flying Dutchman here. Bit disappointed in you lot. Treating me like a foster kid. Settling with Morgs, and now he barely shows the Coke bottles on the pot anymore. Then I got used to the trombone, and now you give him the boot. I tell you what, Sebby, I'm not liking the new house I'm in. Only positive is you've kept the Maylands... Maylands Mauler away. Not quite Mauler. You don't spell Mauler that way, mate. For your information... I will be catering a very small Frankfurt at the straight-up lunch, but nothing else. That is Dutchy.
No need for the coach.
Oh, well, suitably enough, it's my favourite food. So, Seb, you've been very quiet on the tip. We want a little something from you over the course of the show.
No. As a doc is tragic, even though we have won 10 of 11, I've not enjoyed the ride. Not enjoyed the ride.
How have you not enjoyed the ride?
Wow. We leave it late, but just get it done. Well, try and leave it late and get beat.
Not getting done,
how you go. We're 4th at the moment, so I should be rejoicing. But with 2 hard games to go, we could still miss out. It's enough to drive someone to drink. That is Rick from Rossbourne. Fire up a bit, Rick.
Rick.
One more before we get to Dazzler down at Bunbury. Count me in for the lunch and bus mart. Any chance we will be getting a 2-minute preview of every single menu item from Rusty Similar to how he discusses every single horse on a card.
At least he's informed. At least you know he's not pulling it out from anywhere.
Ezra from Bayswater wants to know whether Martin thinks Callan Bennett can kick 4 goals this weekend and take out the East Perth District Competition leading goal kicker
East
award.
Perth Districts.
Callan Bennett.
Go on, are you? Can you tip him?
Well, I think he can.
Okay.
Yeah,
Me too.
I think we can because it's going to be a fine day.
Yeah, it's about time it's cleared up. But the
Yeah.
grounds are still no good.
Yeah, but I like the name.
Callan Bennett.
And that's spelt with a K.
Oh, okay.
Callan.
Yeah.
Welcome to Straight Up. To have your say, send in a text on 0427 789 571. The best texter on today's show will win a $100 voucher to be redeemed at the magnificent Mundaring Hotel, the heart of the hills since 1899. Go to mundaringhotel.com.au.
Mark, what's the text line doing?
Blowing up. We've got plenty to get through for Butch at the Mundaring. But just before we do, I noticed Larry Dwyer in the background there in that interview with Arthur Daly-Maley, and he is a part owner of Saturday Sesh or Sunday Sesh. Which day was it? Wasn't it? Saturday. And what is the limit to how many beers you can have in the winner's room per person but between races? Because they'll smash it.
Oh, they're pretty generous in there too.
Are they?
Yeah.
Bunbury?
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to give 6 a real run for their money, half a dozen. Because Larry Dwyer, he's pretty good at it. Text line, Chief from Floriat. Any updates on when the martsmap.com merch will be available? Can we order online or will it be limited selection only? Well, Chief, you'd better make your way to the Mundaring on September 5 because that's when it's debuting.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not far away, Mart. Have you got it in production? I don't think you've even...
It's in production,
You
mate.
have not even designed it.
Yeah, it's designed.
Are you
haven't it?
sure?
Yeah,
Okay.
AI. We grok forward it the other day.
The deep fakes.
Nice
Yeah.
and easy.
Yeah, home of deepfakes, martsmap.com. Specialise in them. Marty and Seb, I deserve that rev up that you gave me. I raise my glass to you. That is from Rick from Rossmorland. You've got news on the Dockers?
Yeah, just one change for the Dockers, and that is that man, Corey Wagner, who plays an important team role for the Dockers, is in. Out goes Isaiah Dudley, which we sort of alluded to on Wednesday Drive.
Marty, Ghost Who Walks, you nailed the winner best each way of the day. That is from Robbo. So here's a Ghost Who Walks. Man, I would have had it higher up had the track been a bit wetter, Robbo. Finally, Brian and Karen up, then we've got to get moving. Marty, the wedding story is called Psychosocial Bullying. I kid you not. Everyone has to be friends with everyone in a workplace, and you have to include everyone. Absolute rubbish.
That's a good point, actually. I think I did a module the other week where if I didn't invite someone from work, then I'd be in trouble.
Really?
And I got that question wrong, yeah, because I thought, that's okay, it's out of the workplace, but I have to invite everyone from work.
On another note, next big apprentice on New South Wales will be Sienna Grimer. She just rode a winner today. Watch her when she comes to town, can ride them from anywhere. Ride of the day, have a look at either John Allen's from Bendigo Race 4 or 8 on red hot form, Brian of Carrinup. Thanks for that, Brian. Right, let's go. We're under race number 4, the Key Clean Handicap.
Over the 1,000 metres, number 1, Military Power, $11 out to $17. Number 2, Dirty Chai, $16 out to $20. Number 3, for Willie Pike, Immortal Bliss, opened at $3.40 into $2.15.
I've got my little segment. I've got my champion. What were you doing?
Number 4, None So Spicy. $4 out to $6.
Don't worry.
Scully, $5 out to $8.50, back into $8. Number 6, Estimator, $51 into $41. Number 7, Koondle, $21 out to $26. Number 8, Snow God, $3.40 into $3.20. 9, Something Royal, $51 out to $61.
Bit of speed here, None So Spicy. Oh, sorry, I've gone early on the favourite. Sorry, mate. Sorry. Apologies.
No one likes a premature matter. Early money was actually for Snow God, and it was quite heavy. There were a couple of thousand at an average of $3.30, another 900 at $3.40. And then the Immortal Bliss money came. They said, champion, what were you thinking? They've got stuck early, 900 at the $3.40. 1,100 at the $2.80. 2,000 at the 240, 2,000 at the 225, 500 at the 225, 500 at the 225, another couple of hundred there at the 220. Scully, some sharp money starting to come now each way, including a place component. Might be RS Bell after hearing him describe his trial.
We'll have a word to him about that.
And it's tough to miss, but...
Well...
So the two that are really heavily commissioned in the market are Immortal Bliss and Snow God, and there's not that much in the actual financial support between them, but the market move has been for Immortal Bliss.
So the speed is from middle to out, isn't it? None So Spicy, Koondle and something Royal, you would imagine. Is that how you got it?
Dirty Chai.
Dirty Chai
fast horse.
Dirty Chai zaps them.
And inside you've got Snow God and Estimator, who both have their spare.
Yeah, Dirty Chai I think will zap them here from 7. So all that speed comes across. I hadn't gone further enough there with Dirty Chai. It'll zap straight to the front. Its speed at Carnarvon was amazing.
It's doing it on all surfaces and not asking for any favours, Dirty Chai. It's genuinely flying.
Well, I'm a Snow God fan. First up 1,000, second up 1,200 with Bradley's first ride on it, and I'm not having a shot at Brad. You know that. I'd give myself an uppercut before I had a shot at Brad, particularly when it's in his left, right? But I think having his second ride on Snow God, it'll help him back to 1,000. I can see Snow God being in front of Immortal Bliss and Immortal Bliss trying to gun him down in the straight. I've just got this nagging doubt. I don't know why, but I think Immortal, and please, I'm not having a shot at Grant and Alana either. That's a shortcut to the Social Security if you want to start taking them on. But I might want more than 1,000.
Couldn't have been much more impressive.
No, it was impressive.
My query was on what it beat. It was a Class 3, but second favourite didn't turn up, so it was a pretty thin old race. It did take care of them, but I think Snow God's a pretty serious animal, so we're sort of hoping by now with that money for Immortal Bliss that Snow God might get out and touch $4 so we could all have a bet, but it has not. The market's really kept both of them safe, but Scully got out to a nice each-way price, and apparently it trialled well, Mark.
Richie, maybe that was for the people who are vision impaired, who can't see the trials.
Maybe he was just a big X-Files fan.
Maybe, Scully. Maybe it's just one for the black book. But it was when it was just bowling along at the back of the field, it just seemed to be doing it in first gear. You knew it was going to explode like it did. So I think you've got to include it in the numbers, don't you? And could Dirty Chai just speed to the front, just that sustained speed, and maybe at the 200 everyone says, oh, Dirty Chai's 2 in front.
The way it's going wouldn't shock. And if None So Spicy, I think the trials and the sort of gaps between runs and on and off preps have put a few people off, but there's some fair raps on this horse, and it was only a trial. If the best of it turns up, it'll give them something to contend with as well. But the market is saying Immortal Bliss will be going through the grades.
Yeah, Dr. J won that trial, and he sort of flopperooed a bit, didn't he? On debut at, where was that, Northern, somewhere?
Belmont,
Dr. J?
Belmont.
So I'm going with Snow God, and if you can put him out to $4, we can have a little bet. I'll take on Immortal Bliss, but the money there, and some very good operators out there are saying that this is a good thing. Closely connected with the stable. Scully's got to be in there, and Dirty Chai is just crazy, but I'm happy to go with Snow God each way. $4 if you bet me.
Salivating race.
All right.
Anything off that Retrovision text line?
Yeah, there is one. Marty, is there a wobble head in your merch pack? Well, I hadn't thought about that.
That's a good idea.
Maybe that can be in our second and third wave.
Nice.
We'll probably just concentrate on the caps at this stage.
Just keep it nice and basic.
And the Speedos.
They're down the track for summer, mate. We'll bring them out over the pinnacles.
Okay, let's get through 20 weeks. The Tab Touch West Speed Platinum Handicap over the 1,300 metres. Nice big field here. Number 1, Street Parade, 101 into $71. 2, Corn Cob, $21 out to $26, back into $23. Number 3, On Patrol, $5.50 into $4.60. 4, Truvinsky, $51 into $34. Number 5, Dr. J, $9 into $8. Number 6, Famous Journey at $26, now back into $19. 7, Forever Dreaming, $34 into $31. Number 8, Kira Louie, $10 into $9.50 and $3.10. Number 9, Battle Commander, $51 into $34. Number 10, Cobb & Co., $31 into $26. Number 11, My Aloha, $9 out to as much as $12 into $11. Number 12, Diamond Dancer, $4.80 out to $5.50, back into $4.60 and $1.90. 13, Divine Impact, $6 out to $9.50. Fortune's Luck, number 14, $11 out to $12 into $7.50. 15, Manjeri, $18 out to $51. And 16, Happy as Larry, $16 out to $31.
Well, plenty of activity here, Mark. As you'd expect. Local
That's sort of a race, isn't it?
local pros keen. Diamond Dancer each way. The 550, 300 by 700 on Patrol. ESP money 500 at the 550. Dr. J, local sharp money 300 at the $9. Fortune's Luck 300 at the $9. More local sharp money, Dr. J, Divine Impact and Famous Journey. And Corn Cob, good betting affair as you'd expect with a field this size.
It's messy, the map.
Lenore.
You've got to go to premium and upgrade here for the deeper insight into it. Because there's quite a few that can do it if they want. You know, there's quite a few that can just say, and these sort of horses like, Corn Cob, he could dash across from 11 with a Shooter McGrady up. I don't think he will, but he could.
There's a few like that.
Famous Journey, Jimmy. He just loves it out in front. Barrier 1, Amy Jo Hayes. You might just say, well, if you find the top, just keep on going because it's that sort of a day. Even, horses like Forever Dreaming, Battle Commander. Which one of Paul's? You can guarantee one of Paul's are going to go forward. Probably be Happy as Larry with Lisa on. Fortune's Luck can dash forward, so can Divine Impact. So it's a messy old affair, as the race is.
Yeah.
Isn't this a tantalising first leg of the quad?
I would pay good money to have you say tantalising to me once a day. That was the highlight of my day.
Yeah. I'm just going to hide behind the screen for a bit.
Yeah, it's so
impressed with
tricky. It's so
Seb's
tricky.
first
Divine Impact's another one. There's a few there that I'm not sure anything goes to the front with any real
conviction,
intent, or yeah.
How do you like that conviction?
Prefer them spent.
I initially had On Patrol, which I thought was still a good run. We've been obviously mentioning this horse quite a bit on Racing Rewind for a horse who's a 2 for 20 or a 3 for 30 or something. His bowling figures aren't that great, but he's a horse that Mickey Heaton would like, 3 for 29, right in Mickey's wheelhouse. But his run was good behind Little Silver. I think that was a day at Pinjarra when they were up on the fence, weren't they? There was a fence to 3 lane. Outside of that, you're in a bit of trouble.
Doing it tough, yeah.
So that was a good run. And then you think, well, it's wide open betting race. There's no great value, is it, On Patrol, really? So I then looked down at Divine Impact. First up, I reckon it just got a bit tired late. Was there to strike. So it'll come on. And then if you like Divine Impact, you've got to like Kira Louie, who was making good ground behind them, wasn't it? And that was, again, that day, I think, when you couldn't be out.
Yep.
What have you got up your sleeve?
Yeah, I concur with a lot of that. Dr. J, you have to expect improvement. It was almost too bad to be true first up after that trial.
He was just playing, wasn't he?
Yeah, Diamond Dancer's got more races in, that's for sure. It's a sticky map. What I'm really interested in, Mart, my Aloha.
Yeah.
I understand that Pikey's probably jumped off. The best of this horse would win this race by a reasonable amount of spacing.
Is it a horse that's lost its way a bit?
Improving track. I think the track just might have been too wet for it last start. I thought the troll looked good. Always had a bit of faith in this horse. It's drawn to settle handy enough. It's probably one of the mapped horses in the race.
Yep.
Slight concern that in the last 3 race meetings or so that Great Nalana have scratched 4 horses with the virus.
Okay. Well, that's
just something that's always sort of sitting in the back of your mind, and it's. But yeah, the double figures on an improving track. I'm happy to find out my Aloha.
If I said to you, a gentleman that you would know well has tipped me Travinsky to win this first up, no trial. Who do you reckon it'll be?
The great man.
I think the great man that
WJ.
fits his form focus, doesn't it? Corn Cob gets me. I reckon it can run a race getting off these heavy tracks. Doesn't like it. Look, 3 duck eggs on the heavy, on the soft 7011, 11 wins on the good. I know it's not going to be a good track, but by then it could be getting close to a 4.
Didn't mind its return either. Nice return.
Okay.
And, the camp's in a bit of form at the moment. The game is going very nicely.
I hope he goes forward, Shooter. Just smoke it forward.
Well, he's a subscriber to marksmaps.com,
Yeah.
so if you say it's going forward, he'll go forward.
And he'll be listening in too. He loves the Thursday action. Diamond Dancer, the fave, barrier 13, got all the favours last start. Was explosive.
Maybe he gets sent forward and just settles handy and hopes for a spot, and be very hard to beat if that does occur.
And then Fortune's Luck for William. What about the trial of Man Jerry? What's going on there?
Nice.
Did Richie go on about that one? He did a bit. He lifted.
Man Jerry was not a character in X-Files. Nice trial. Probably going to maybe wait for a maiden, get a race under its belt, but certainly something there. What about Divine Impact, Mark? That's one that I couldn't entertain at double figures as well.
I'm putting it on top. I think Lactar gets it into the breeze somewhere around there, and maybe even have a look at the lead if that's a place to be, but I don't really want it leading.
I don't mind it, because what price would Repeater be in this race? You'd think Repeater would be favourite.
No, you're the bookie. Don't ask me. Divine Impact. I'll put on top from Corn Cob, On Patrol, Kira Louie. And just keep an eye on Man Jerry.
I'm going to have something on my Aloha, and I'm going to have something on Divine Impact at the current prices.
I started my form on my Aloha and then was able to work my way away from it. But I'm not going to dissuade you, as Russell T. Betts would say.
Thanks.
RTB, be listening in.
Next event is the 6th event of the day at Belmont, the MCA Polytrack Handicap over the 2,200 metres. Number 1, Snazzler for Sean McGruddy. $8.50 after opening at $9 and getting out to as much as $9.50. And number 2, So War, $10 out to $12. 3, Cosmic Chaos, $7 out to $8.50 and $2.75. 4, Dark Looks, $9 out to as much as $13, back into $12. Number 5, Alaskan, $3.90 out to $4.80, back into $4.40. Number 6, Noble Connection, $8 into $4.40. 7, True Player, $7 into $5. 8, Admired, $51. 9, Al Unique, $51 out to $71. 10, Fear Eyes, $31 out to $41. Number 11, Mr. Talentino, $7 out to as much as $9.50. Now into $9 and $2.90. And 12, Rock Legacy, $14 out to $23.
Thanks for that, Seb.
There's one in there.
Yeah, thanks. Well noted, champ. Early they were pretty keen. Noble Connection. They got stuck in early at the $6, at the $7, at the $8. Local pros pretty keen there. ESP's got involved as well. Noble Connection. True Player, also well supported. 500 there at the $5. $400 at the $7 early. Alaskan ESP money stepped in as it drifted. $600 at the $4.60. A little bit of sharp money worth noting for Sowar, who we're going to talk about as well. And that'll do, Mart.
Tough old map. These staying races always are, but just take a chance on Snazzler, I reckon, going forward. Mr. Talentino, after his win from second throughout, it's got to be there as well. Interesting race.
For your eyes to lead, maybe? Alaskan to settle handy from a good gate?
Yeah, for your eyes.
Dark Looks jumped well and settled handy last start.
Do you reckon there could be a bit of speed in this?
Nope.
No.
Nope, they'll settle handy. They'll be handy and they'll pull up stumps for 1,600 metres.
I'm going with True Player, the 7. Blinker's first time. Yeah, I know.
What did you think last week?
Well, the reason I'm doing this is because it's getting back onto a better track. That's what I think. I loved Neville Parnham, what he said about Alaskan when we spoke to him in that Pulitzer Prize-winning interview from last Friday. No one else will ever hear again. But it'd be done on another show. It'd be on TVs, replayed on Twitter, on X.
Ray Martin would do an expose about it.
But if you miss him on March, you miss him, that's for sure. He did say that it isn't suited on the softish conditions and the wet conditions, and I am setting him for the Calgary Cup. And for him to run as good as he did, I thought, well, and now he's buttering him up, suggests to me that he might have the big boy going all right. So I think he's the one for True Player to beat. Sowar. What do you think?
Ready to fire a shot. Pretty stiff last start. I wasn't sure earlier in the prep that it had come back, but I saw enough last start to indicate that it has, and I reckon Mitchie's got this horse about ready to fire.
The old 9-year-old.
Super money earner.
And I love them when they've had the 3 runs at the mile jumping up. Good grounding. I think Sowar can go in for my little third spot, and just a complete Maddie down the bottom because I've been taken by the way her horses are running at the moment, and that is Justine Erkland's. Geez, they look fit. They're fit and hard. Where's she have a winner yesterday? Double. 2 or 1 yesterday, Justine?
You had me at fit and hard.
Rock Legacy, just mad. Something crazy for a novelty.
Oh, I can see it.
Can you?
Stays. There's not a lot between them, as we've seen. Horses going along okay.
Got one here from Paul Cook. He said, good to hear the Crapathon's in top swing. And yes, I'll be on the bus heading to Mundaring with you blokes.
Oh, look at that.
Fantastic.
Another one for the coach.
We might have to get a bigger...
Might have to upgrade to a maxi taxi.
We had a minibus, and now we're to the penultimate race there at Belmont on Saturday over the 1,400 metres. It's the Glenroy Chap Handicap. Number 1, Sisu Warrior, $5 out to $7.50. 2, Cold Shizzle, $6.50 into $5.50. Number 3, Excel Train, opened at $6.50 into $4.20. Number 4, Little Silver, $5 out to $6.50. Number 5, Yarra Leah, $11 out to $15. 6, Big Day on It, $31 out to $34. 7, Border Force, $15 out to $20. 8, Objective 5, $14 out to as much as $18, back into $14. Number 9, Petrushka, $6 out to $8.50. 10, Street Band, $7 into $4.60.
Seb's given me my first double-headed meerkat, the mythical beast. This is a good spread of money, despite what the market may indicate. Street Band, local pros keen early, and that price has kept going off. So 300, 300, 200 there. Street Band at the price all the way in. XL Train, place heavy, ESP money. There's 1,000 places there. There's also 600 wins XL Train at the early price, and a couple of lots of 300 wins there XL Train. Cold Shizzle. 400 wins, 400 wins, 400 wins, so good money there. Petrushka, ESP money, 300 wins there. It's actually a really good betting race because ESP is keen objectify as well at the bigger price. So a really good spread of money.
Been any at all for Border Force?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Matt looks pretty well predictable, doesn't it? Excel Train from 2 and Little Silver to come across from 9. Sits outside of it, where it's been winning from. Just thought the track conditions may change the finishing order a little bit here. I've been waiting, and I might be going a bit early. I know you're not a fan of that sort of behaviour, but Border Force has been waiting. He's been gagging for a better track, and I think he hopefully can get it on Saturday. So at $17, I'm throwing a mad shy at the stumps, hoping that Sisu Warrior, as you rightly said off air, gets a position just behind the leaders there for Chanel Cooper with the claim. Another who's going to appreciate just the better drying conditions. By then, it's probably going to be into a 4.
Oh, we're happy with a 5.
Sure. A 4.9.
4.9?
Yeah.
4.86, yeah, in that vicinity.
Cold Shizzle. I've been watching Darren McCall-Lachard. It's starting to gather a little bit of momentum. Whatever's been holding him back, he's identified it, and it's no longer holding the great man back. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Cold Shizzle run some sort of a race after a couple of nice runs. First up was beaten 6 after being up on the speed on the heavy behind Woburn Gold, and then last start running on into 4th, only 2 and a bit off Sunny Honey when it got onto a soft 6. So
building nicely.
Slightly better conditions will help. And I do think Excel Train is just in good form, this horse by Spirit of Boom. And it's another who's going to appreciate the drying conditions, even though it's been running well in the heavy 8s and 9s.
Yeah, as much as the ESPs, the Sharpies, etc., they've had their bets and there's been a few horses go off, you can genuinely make a case for, I think, for 9 of these and maybe the entire field. Like horses that are even friendless so far, your Little Silvers, your Sisu Warriors, your Yarralees, you could make genuine cases for those 3 horses. Yarralee took some huge steps last preparation. I think the numbers don't indicate how well the horse was actually going, and yeah, it even wouldn't surprise me if she was able to take care of them. The one I'm sort of keen on at current prices is Sisu Warrior.
Yep.
I think Super Return.
Yep.
Luckless should have almost won second
Correct.
up, and what I consider to be a complete forgive last start. Maps leaders back here. Seems a very nice price. Currently $8, $8.50 around the traps for me to find out. But I wouldn't talk anyone out of sort of backing 9 horses in this race. I thought we'd see $10 street band by now and we'd be able to have a bet. But a few Sharpies have found it and that price has caved in.
Well, let's talk about it. It was good first up behind Matty Girl and Desert Whisper, making late ground.
Yep.
Again, this is a horse who I think is better on the soft to good range. Being by Lucky Street, and the money for it doesn't surprise me. Petrushka's interesting. Best form on the wet tracks. They've gone blinkers first time, winkers off. Is this a case that they want to press the button a little bit and see what they got? Maybe the Belmont Oaks winner?
Maybe a touch concerned with what they saw first half, because there was some money for it. But as I said, Mark can make a case for many of these, and so I'm going to go with, one that the money hasn't come for Little Silver, because as the track is certainly going to be improving, it'll still have the sting out of it.
Yep.
And the horse is genuinely flying.
Well,
so.
Little Silver fans be listening saying, well, what are these two morons talking about? It's won its last 2. It's going to get a similar in-run position. Tash Faithful's on. The change for me, soft 7, heavy 8. Possible soft 5. It just gives the others a bit more of a chance, I think. And with the winning in a 66, it goes up in a grade and is around the same weight range. So I'm prepared to. Again, it's like we said earlier on. If you haven't been on Little Silver, I can't give it 2 start at those odds and then jump in Saturday. Can you?
Not quite, but it's not far away. As I said, man, I'd happily back 8 or 9 of these if the prices were right. So
okay,
the market's dictating to me to, at this stage, to have something on Sisu Warrior and
give it strength.
see what happens.
Last event of the day at Belmont on Saturday is a Bisley Workwear handicap over the 1,600 metres. A look at the board here. Number 1, Autumn Rebel. Opened at 460 at 550, sticking to 550. Number 2, Hostile Talk, $5 into 390. 3, Above the Peg, $41 into $34. 4, Gauge Roads, $8 out to $10. 5, Emerald Trader, $26. Number 6, Lombardina, $6 out to $7. 7, Beccalotti, $14 out to $17. 8, Odinaka, $21 into $17. Number 9, Behara, $31 out to $41. Number 10, Jelly Can Run, $16 out to $19, back into $18. 11, Ton of Grunt, $26 into $23. 12, Uncle Gerard at $16, opened at $15, out to as much as $18. Number 13, Corvette, $5 out to $6, back into $5.
Another nice betting race to conclude. Hostile Talk. Punters were keen early to get involved. So we've got, I think, 500 at 460, 400 at 480, 300 there even at the 370. 500 each way there at the $5. Large place bet, 900 at the 195. Hostile Talk. Corvette, ESP money, 500 at the 550. 500 at the $6. Odinaka each way. Local pro's been snipping away there, and a few others have joined in. This is a great finish of the day, Mark.
Yes, and it's a bit of a tricky map as well. I thought Gauge Roads, they learned something by going forward last start over the 1,600 at Pinjarra. Also Lombardina, who was up on the speed and winning last start over the 1,400. They were the two I sort of identified. I wouldn't be surprised if the Toppy Autumn Rebels up there somewhere close in the run. You got anything else for me? AIs.
As you said, maybe Beccalotti, Gauge Roads, Hostile Talk, handy, possibly Lombardina, handy. That was me.
What about Beccalotti's run first up?
It was incredible, wasn't it?
What's going on there? It was massive. If you said, well, you produce that run and jump with them or whatever happened at the start, then it'd take a power holding out.
Absolutely. If you can trust what you saw there, Beccalotti's showing absolute Saturday class levels before and has performed in probably better races than this, so has to be respected.
One off the text line here. This was the same man who wanted the wobble head in the merch pack, who's the same man it's Gordon.
Gord.
Hi, guys. Any chance Emerald Trader at odds in the last at Belmont?
Why not? Sean O'Donnell on board is back and riding his share of winners.
Yes.
It was double on Wednesday.
Yep.
Another horse that on at stake can absolutely turn up.
I'm going Lombardina. I think the stable's in pretty good form. They discovered something about it last start. It's got to jump up in trip here to the mile, but I think it can. I can see Above the Peg from your camp improving here.
On the bounce, it does its best work. A couple of
It's had a couple of friendly
reputable owners in this horse too.
Yeah. Very reputable. Well, the whole team. You wouldn't find a weak link in there. Odinaka, you said there's been snipping?
Yes, there certainly has.
Wolfie's got 2 in this, hasn't he? I thought that was the one that can run a bit of a race. His other Gauge Roads, what did you make of the win at Pinjarra?
I'm being a bit harsh maybe on Gauge Roads. I sort of maybe thought right race, right time, right conditions, right setup. Yeah. So I'm a bit anti. I just battle to make a case for Gauge Roads beating Corvette, who I think's...
Corvette, wow.
Dion's just got this horse humming.
Well,
drawn a gate now to settle handy. And
the horse that beat one yesterday, Bear Cove Rock. How's yours?
And carrying the 52 Mart as well.
Yeah, that's the big thing, isn't it?
Barrier 2, Shan.
Yeah. And I'm a Kermadec fan, unabashed. Love them. Love a good Kermadec. And I think this is a good Kermadec.
And we'll be sitting on Butchie's big Kermadec.
Yes, at the Mundaring. You've come up with an interesting stat about the show for next week.
Let us know, Brett. No, you go with it.
Well, this is our 99th show.
Is it really?
So
Wow.
we might be raising the bat next week. And, gee, we've got some special guests lined up, Mart.
How sure of that are you? Are you 100%?
I'm as sure as my Spotify.
Yeah, I know the Spotify says that, but I don't know if we've been numbering them for the entirety. I think
We've
we
done
might
the
have-
maths. and
Oh,
we
no,
feel
you've got to
like
go.
it's
You've got to
about
go
right.
You
with
have
it.
to
This
go
is
with
big.
it.
100,
Yeah.
100. Yeah,
We'll
it's
be
gotta
going with it.
Yeah. Special celebrations
Gee,
planned.
we've got some stuff planned.
And, even going forward, we've got another one that...
Have to have a prize.
We've got another big one going forward, is a 2J Cup tour with a special area roped off.
Red rope?
Oh, no, it's a lounge area. They look
right.
after us.
No, that police tape, I think.
Yeah. Do not cross.
Blue and white. Blue and white. Okay, let's wrap this up. I'm 6 Lombardina and Curvette 13 bracket selection.
I'm really keen on one here, Mart.
Who you've gone?
Autumn Rebel.
Yeah,
I'm really keen.
Yep. It's going to get the right
I'm
run, isn't
really
it?
keen. Yeah, I was backing this horse in a WA Guineas, like Zip Away, Super Smink areas.
Yeah.
That had that really sort of long spaced out prep, and this horse, I love his return. Mile, bit of weight, I'll cop that, but the barrier, the improving track, Brad Parnham
Bradley.
may even put the whip into the left mark at stages.
Just to get us all excited. Yep. I'm with you.
$6, $6.50 around the traps. That will do me.
I can feel you, baby.
I get the hostile talk money. The mile is a bit of a concern. I'm not sure the horse has even had a crack at the mile. So
It's out of Maroon Mare Lip Service. So anyway, doesn't know
just
its
I think
grandfather.
if the Autumn Rebel improves from last start into this, if you'd want to price it on its best form, I reckon you'd have it in the $3 range. So
All right, let's get your best bets.
Autumn Rebel in the last.
That's it.
Yep.
1 and 1 only. Punters.
Sisu Warrior a little bit there, maybe in the 7th as well.
Sisu, yeah. Anything else?
No.
No. Not a day for best bets, I didn't think. We're just going to throw some maddies up. Border Force at big odds each way. And I do like Snow God each way. I think it's a really nice horse. How's that?
When's the Mart's Maps package out for the Broome Cup?
Broome Cup. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get one out in time, mate. It's been very, very busy. It has, with everyone, accepting the big money on Channel 7 Plus, leaving us here working our
noses to the
fingers to the bone. Yeah. How about running through the market?
No problems. Do you want me to take it from the top?
Yeah.
Zadar Rock Mart.
Mm-hmm.
$10 out to 11 into 7. Bang. Early market Mick.
Yeah, Michael.
Brought to you by martsmarkets.com.
Barrier 16 has to go back. Yep.
Bam Bam Boy, 34 out to 41, still 41. Starring Knight, 34 out to 41, still 41. Striking Fella, $7 into 6. A bit of snipping there, Mart. Bellini Miss, $8 out to $8.50. Gambler's Gold, $7. Steady. Did drift a bit. Was some snipping. Starden Joey, $8 out to $8.50. Reginald, $10 out to 12 into 11. Asymmetric, 16 out to 19. Civvy Street, 18 out to 19. Divine Mercy, $6.50 out to $8.50. Hafey, 18 out to 21. King Mahuta, $6.50 into $6. Massatora, 41 into 26. There's your long range out wide, Meerkat Mart. Flash Paddy Emergency 1, 41 out to 51. And at Mirashino Emergency 2, 34 out to 41.
Early days on Striking Fella at $6. Just needs Christy Bennett to ride well from barrier 9. It's been getting the low draws and getting that easy run behind them of late. So it's up to you, Christy. Ride it well, you'll win the race. The Great Northern Broome Cup on Saturday. $100,000 up for grabs. Pearl Coast Racing, the winter alternative, about to come to a close. So is this show.
Fantastic season up there.
Wonderful. Would have loved to have got up there, but unfortunately,
Dragged back to the studio.
The wrong young's going up there every week. Big Matty will be calling this, the nephew.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Big opportunity.
Yeah, it is. He loves calling the Bruin Cup.
Yeah, great.
Thanks for coming in today. You've been great.
Yeah, thanks, blokes.
We hope you enjoyed another stimulating episode of Straight Up. All betting markets supplied by Tab Touch. All care, no responsibility went into the production of today's podcast.